Facebook way the one that we was using, where we could just like send you a link and that was it.
Right.
But they stopped doing that. That's some bullshit.
They're always doing something to fuck somebody.
Yeah, I hear you. No, I don't see him either. All right. All right. Yes, I can see him. We good to go, right? All right. So we got G-Raver tonight. Uh, you got anything that you want to promote? Anything you want to plug? Hey, Raver, can you hear me? Hey, Raver, you can hear me? Raver, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
Okay, okay. Got a little technical difficulty there for a second.
That's all right, man. It happens.
All right. Uh, you got anything that you want to plug or anything like that?
Not really. Just right now, just plugging everybody else's stuff, man. Everybody's got some awesome shit going on. Like GCW, obviously, and ICW, and a couple other different things going on. Of course, you got some men down that that's heavy on my mind lately more than anything. So your audio is breaking up like crazy. It sounds like a robot.
Yeah.
Well, at least to talk to Mike here. The injury is going slow, man. Uh, what I got right now, you can see is a little bit more than what I had before. I got this kind of motion down, and I don't have no bend in the fingers yet, so I can't do anything like that. But I definitely got more movement than I thought I would by this point. But I still have a long ways to go because I don't have like strength. I can't like pick stuff up, that sort of thing. All my co-hosts went to hell. Good morning, Jens. If it is morning where you're at, it's kind of night here. It's so I mean until my co-hosts come back, but Devin, I think that uh, Black Crab put a lot into me, and there's still a lot of cool guys involved with that. Obviously, even with the clothing line, those guys have helped me out with so much stuff. And had it kept rolling, I'm sure things would have looked a little bit brighter as far as like what I could have done for that company and stuff like that. And I wish I could have done more. And I don't know if they're dead either. So hopefully they make some sort of a comeback at some point when things are better and they can focus on more things. Those guys take on so much. Those guys take on multiple projects all the time. So kudos to them. And then they've helped me out with a lot. Oh, thank you, Ace. Man, I appreciate that. I wish I could hear my co-host, but I don't know what happened to him. But I'll try to hang in here with you guys, and as your questions pop up in any way, I'll try to answer it as best as possible. But I appreciate that, Ace. I won't leave you all in dead silence. So how you guys doing, man? What are you guys watching, man? Joe, who trained me, originally started in Shikara and CZW Wrestling Factory. So at the time, it was specifically kind of leaning towards Shikara. So I started with that was with Hero, Chris Hero, um, Claudio. There, we all know who that is. I'm only name dropping because you asked, and it started there at Shikara, and then from there, I really obviously wanted to go direct to CZW. I mean, that was kind of my envision of what I had for myself. I had seen myself in CZW, and that was, kind of why I came to the school in the first place. I always look back on it. Maybe I should have stuck around Shakar a little bit longer, but I still thankful for everything they taught me. And they gave me my graces to go over and train with CZW. So at the time was, DJ Hyde, John Dahmer, Drew Gulak was helping out at both schools. Um, so yeah, I mean, that's where I got my start, man. And I just kind of jumped fences when the school split up.
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
I had a shitty connection, so
That's
I
all.
apologize.
No, it's all right. I figured it was because you were looking all fucking staticky and shit.
And you were doing the exact same, like you said, it sounded like a robot.
Right, 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 right.
So okay, well, what did I miss?
I answered two questions, and then Jen's question just popped up, and that's about me still tattooing and after the injury and stuff like that. No, Jen, I can't really do that. Unfortunately, what happens is everyone asks me this. It's a typical question I get is like, "Oh, you're right-handed, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm right-handed, but I need my left to draw. I need it to stretch skin. I need it to do a lot of things." So when you don't have that there, and you kind of take for granted, when you're missing your left hand, and what ends up happening is you can't even tie your own shoes and shit. It You realize that stretching skin on a person, pending their age too. I mean, it could get worse and have a harder time doing it. So I still don't have that motion down of being able to stretch the skin like that. So I have to kind of like put that on the back burner for a little bit. But if I get better and my strength comes back with it, then I'm gonna try to shoot for that. If I can do it a little bit here and there.
Okay. Do you have a date or a timeline when you're going to be coming back?
There's no date or no timeline that I can like foresee. I wish and I hope that I can do it within, I think, I mean, I've been out for a couple months now and I hadn't even realized it till the other day. And I'm like, since Labor Day. And even though that wasn't that long ago, to me, it doesn't seem that way. It was, a couple months here. And now, in March is when I'm supposed to see that I should be able to get some bending going on my fingers. I haven't started any PT or anything like that because it would be kind of almost pointless um, to do it without that motion to be there. So I have to wait for that to happen. And once that happens, then I'll have more progress with doing PT and stuff like that. So hopefully I can kind of, push it as best I can. And obviously, I'm not 2 years is my full amount of seeing when I will be able to actually, see the full function of my hand and what it can do. I'm not going to wait 2 years to be out of wrestling, but I have to do it as I feel comfortable and when I feel like the strength's there at least.
Are you going to jump right back into death matches, or are you just going to kind of wing yourself back into them?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like. I mean, it's not something I've really thought about. To be honest with you, man, I have I haven't really thought about that at all. Like even when you just brought it up, I wish I had an answer for that, but I kind of don't. So like, it's just getting past this that I want to do, and then I can focus more on that in the end result of things.
Let's see. Devon says, I really see you being the predator of the AEW Dark Series with the roster that's going on there. Bringing that you and Jimmy Havoc feuded that shit, needs to bloom. Let's see. Just real shit. You have a huge future ahead of you.
Oh, thank you, man. And I appreciate that, man. And with the AEW thing and stuff like that, I that's kind of like one of the positives I was talking about. Um, like watching everybody else do their thing and be successful at it. The guys in AEW, some of my multiple people I would consider a friend. And seeing what they're doing and not seeing yourself in that position in any way for any performer at this point, I don't think should be a thing. I think everybody should be looking at it as a possibility of seeing what they can do. So, just to watch my friends, really shine on there is just it puts a smile on my face. So yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd love to be there.
Yeah. Let's see. Brian Cummins says, "Hey, bro, glad you're good. How do you think the deathmatch fans differ from basic pro wrestling? Always a supporter, bro."
Um, Thank you, man. I'm gonna say that it differs. Obviously, it's it's just on the basis of what you said. Kind of, there's a mix. The guys. I mean, I know guys in the wrestling business. Guys that you wouldn't think. Another guy, just Anthony Deppen. Man, he loves deathmatch wrestling. Man, do I think Deppen's gonna do it? He's gonna have one here, I guess. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe he'll just have the one. I think he's doing like a no ring thing, and but he loves deathmatch wrestling. But is he gonna partake in it? Is that gonna be his whole career? No, it's not gonna be. But he loves it. There's those kinds of people. There's those kinds of fans too. I mean, I was always that kind of fan. I loved watching wrestling of all kinds. Seeing people just regular, catch can type wrestling, lucha libre, and then straight to obviously Japanese deathmatch wrestling and things like that. So I'm going to say the biggest difference is there is whether the person wants to accept that these are forms of wrestling that they're willing to watch and be open to the idea of the difference of it. If they're not open to that idea, the door is closed, and there's not any nobody's gonna fucking carry that around with them and hope that that's gonna inspire others to do so. Some people are just caught up in what they want to watch, man. They don't want to watch anything else. So I
Yeah.
mean, more power to them.
I got you. Raven Havoc. I'm glad that he asked this question because I was gonna bring him up. Um, he wants to know, does it bother you people are chanting Lil Havoc, Lil Raver at me?
No, it doesn't bother me, man. uh, I think it's a cool. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's always great to see an homage. Uh, with somebody that Raven obviously met me back at TOD, and I vibe with him then, man. He's just a cool kid, and wanted to see him maybe get a chance to do something a little different from what he was doing. I know he was just kind of, segregated to kind of this little bubble out there, and I wanted to see him maybe do some other things. But and no, that in itself doesn't bother me. But I'll say this now, and I'll say this in front of everybody, and I mean this more than anything, that I want you to be the best Raven Havoc, the guy that you are supposed to be, and I want people to commend you for what you do, opposed to anything in relating to me in that sense. So I want you to be the best you, man. That's all.
Okay, very nice words. Everybody that we talked to said that had nothing bad to say about you ever.
Dude, I wanted it. I was like begging people, man. I'm like, find that guy that's like, you ever meet G-Raver? Fuck that guy. I wanted to meet that guy. I wanted to meet the guy that was like, fuck him right off the start. Like, the thing of it
No,
is, I don't generate heat with people. I mean, people may not like my opinions. I mean, even if people didn't like me, I think that they're so low to the ground with it that they may not say it, and it may be based on like, the type of wrestling that I've done, not me as a person or me in particular in the locker rooms and things like that, or people that just didn't know me and they were pissing me off, like like Jim Cornette or fucking his lawyer or some shit like that.
that's the only person that I've heard of you having something negative to say about you. Was that
Right.
dude?
I mean, I'm sure that there's people out there that have done it, but at least on a grander scale of like hatred or distaste for what I do, then yeah, I mean that's gonna be it. That's gonna be the one that sticks out the most, obviously, because he's in the business and and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, they're like I said, we never had a guy that's just like, yeah, fuck him. No, nobody had ever said that about you.
Right. So I'm glad that if anything I carried that with me, and if that helps inspire people to not be a fucking asshole, then perfect. Like that's what you should be. Like I have my opinions about stuff. It just 9 times out of 10 I just don't talk about it, or don't get into that conversation.
Right. Um. So you were a backyarder, right?
Yeah, I did backyard. Uh,
I I saw a video on YouTube.
right.
Yeah, I saw barbed wire
right.
and light tubes, a light tube board, and no rope barbed wire actually.
Right. Right. Right.
How did you get into that?
Um, and it's funny. I mean, this goes back years, but I mean, this was derived from a place where it's funny because I come out, and not a lot of people know this, where I always come out to the Sixth Ward. The Sixth Ward was a park that I used to get together with my friends after school, and we used to wrestle down at this park, and we would just wrestle on the playground. We would do stuff off like the benches, and we just get a group of people to come down and watch us do all this crazy shit. And yeah, that's where it all kind of started, man. And then from there, it just kept building and building and building. But the difference was, I think, in some people, and some people took different routes. And I know people that have gone from, doing backyard wrestling and then having transitioned somehow into professional wrestling. And I don't know how I necessarily feel about that. I have my disdain for some of that, just depending. I understand that maybe you having a grip or grasp of what you do, and then you carry that to the ring, and then it propels you and exceeds you to go further than you thought, a little bit quicker. Okay, I get that. But like the ultimate goal at the end of the backyard wrestling was like, man, we're sitting here doing this in front of our friends. We're not doing it for, any money, which never was the case and never was really needed to be a thing. But you still wanted the end result to maybe wrestle maybe in front of people. Maybe that became the goal. Maybe you wanted to wrestle in front of big crowds. Maybe you wanted to do the stuff you were doing in the yard, but doing it on a grander scale. And start to realize how much you loved it, that you so much as say, hey, maybe it's time that I find a school, find a reputable school, find something decent, find a trainer that has done stuff, opposed to not just done anything, and go to school and hone the craft and get better at it, and then go on that fucking path or that road, man, wherever you decide to go. So yeah, I mean, it started off that way, but like I said, the end result was schooling and wanting to be, better at what I did.
And you were trained by Quackenbush and DJ Hyde, is that right?
It was Quack, and it wasn't Quack as much as it was Hero, and then Claudio came to help with some of the Shikara classes. Um, it was more them than it was Mike. Mike came around on certain days and certain classes that I had. Like I had some classes that were on a Wednesday. He held like a Wednesday class, and it was more of experience class. And then I kind of went backwards into more or less of experience class because I had a lot of bad habits, of course, and a lot of that derived from the backyard wrestling, which was bad habits. And he thought maybe I could progress a little faster, and then he said, maybe not. Let's back him up. And then I was in Chris's class, uh, with him for a majority of the time. And then, like I said, Drew also helped with training at Shikara and at CZW. So there was always different ears and eyes on me at all times.
Okay. Rick wants to say, dear year 2020, please take it easy on G-Raver. Signed, all us wrestling fans.
Thank you. Yeah, I hope so too, man. And I have full intentions of coming back at some point in 2020 for sure. I just yeah, I definitely need a little bit of break from some concussions and things like that, because some of that stuff, man, that lingered for a while. That the TOS deal left me kind of rocked. I'll be honest. I didn't say much about it. I didn't even tell people really. I didn't even tell people I was, really working with and stuff, that it was. I had like spins and things like that I get from time to time, and had to kind of, wait on the mat, wait for me to get my bearings a little bit more and things like that. And then, of course, uh, Chicago topped it off.
Speaking of Chicago, that was in the Terminal Survival 4, where the
uh,
barbed wire snapped, right?
right, right, right,
In the finals.
right,
And you fell back and on the ground and hit your head.
right.
Yeah, that was scary. That
Yeah,
look on your face.
yeah. A lot of people said that. They said a lot of people that were there and front row and things like that. And just the thing that always, I mean, I know it's aside from that, and I'm okay now, and I can say this because I'm okay. But like, my immediate thought was like, what me and Alex were gonna do. I think because we know each other so well, and because we spent so much time with each other, I think it would have been a finals that I could have been, and he could have been, and everyone could have been proud that they'd been a part of it. And it started off so good for that, even just that couple, seconds of going back and forth with Alex. That I feel like I was just bummed because we didn't get to do what was set, what we had in our minds to show people, and that was kind of the letdown of the thing. So hopefully, I mean, I not to say that I would like to revisit that, because my theory on this is that why wouldn't we do this again? Because Alex didn't really beat me. I beat me. I hit my head on the floor and knocked myself out. So
So you wanna do that match again?
Yeah,
you want
yeah. It's gotta happen. Me and Alex wrestled each other at GCW before, and that match was disgusting. And anybody wants to go, back to that, I don't even know what event that was, to be honest. But um, yeah, I can't even remember. But it's like so many GCW events. But like going back and trying to find that, I suggest everybody watch that because the intent and the physical aspect that was on high alert. So,
let's see. So your in-ring career started in 2007.
yeah,
From
yeah,
that point to right now, you've done had 332 matches.
maybe, maybe more.
That's what I could find documented.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I think I mean, if it's cagematch.day or .net or they have a lot documented on there, but there's a lot missing too.
let's see. Uh, well, I know that you've been to Mexico with DTU.
Yep,
Uh,
three
you
times.
wrestled in Canada,
Yep, yep,
Japan, all across the U.S. Let's see.
yeah.
Justin Hill says, just looking into this, was a huge fan of ECW. What separates your scene from ECW, or is there one?
Separates the scene from ECW. I'm going to say this, and this is not to discourage, what we do, and the fans that are appropriated with what the death match style of. Uh, I mean, ECW was a time. You know what I mean? It was. If you watch some of those videos, I always say like every time I watch, on like the network on YouTube or whatever, any old ECW stuff, it it you watch the crowd, man, and they're packed in that place, and they're nonstop. They don't shut up. They don't shut up at all. And don't get me wrong, GCW fans, you have been that way, and at times, you've been silent, but not that silence a bad thing. It just means you're paying attention. But that vibe alone for ECW during that era is what kind of I think it separates all wrestling. So ECW in itself, I think it will always stand out to its own because it just was a time that, for me, I think was a huge pinnacle in obviously a lot of our careers, a lot of our inspiration, um, and seeing not anybody can sit here that's a current deathmatch fucking wrestler and say, I want to just place myself in a fucking portal back to that time period and wrestle fucking Raven or Sabu. I want to wrestle Raven, but like I've already wrestled Sabu, but it's
Yeah,
like
and
that was like
in
going
DOW.
that was like going backwards in the past, man.
How was that wrestling Sabu? Like
It was
that was in
awesome.
2014.
Yeah, 2014. Sabu was awesome. I didn't, like I've heard stories and I've heard people that had bad problems or they just, maybe he wasn't vibing or not. I didn't have a negative thing to say. Everything I gave him his time. He spends his time, to himself. I let him be until we figured out the kind of match we wanted to have and fucking have at it. And what we produced was he gave me a lot. He gave me a decent match. He gave his fans that were there a decent match, and that was for Vicious Outcast Wrestling. And yeah, we vibed. We just vibed, and he did stuff for me. Even at the end of the match, he picked me up off the mat and stuff. This wasn't stuff that he called or said anything. He just did this because I think he just liked me, and I was just real chill with him. I didn't. I just didn't have any issues. I had no qualms. They didn't have no qualms with him. With money or nothing, nothing. Just smooth transaction the whole way through. So, I thank Sabu to this day, man. Sabu fucking, he's still killing it. He's still a guy that will still do some shit too, man. Like watch him. Like even if he does one thing, if he does fucking a dive or he jumps on a fucking table, whatever, man. He's still doing something. We can't
Oh
forget
yeah,
what these guys did.
I know he wrestled in Australia. I think not too long ago.
Yeah, he had a barbed wire match, and he took a bump like me out
Yeah,
through the barbed wire. Like, could you say like could you ever sit and say on paper, oh, we'll have Sabu go through the barbed wire? I think he'll be cool with that. I would say bullshit. I would be like, no, he's fucking not gonna want to take that.
He's still taking it though.
Yeah, he's still doing it, man. I don't care if it's one spot. I don't care if it's a chair to the face.
Let's see. Ace Woods. Would you come commissioner until you're better?
Uh it it was presented to me in a couple different ways. Uh to take on a commissioner type role, or like you know just some sort of power of setting up matches or things like that. And it was, and I appreciate everything that was was offered to me in that aspect. And I think that's still all on the table, and it's not necessarily something I've completely said no. I do think that I do like looking at wrestling a little bit from the outside, uh, especially during a time where I can't really do anything. So I'm really enjoying being at some of the shows, and being able to chill and sit and watch and just see guys kind of like, I like giving my whatever it's worth to people. I like giving people a piece of advice, or just telling them, like I told a group this weekend. They had a 6-man tag or an 8-man tag, and it was they could have had that match anywhere, and they had it for like this small little crowd, and they killed it. So like, just even be able to go up to those kids and say, "Hey, man, you killed it, man. That was fucking awesome. I dig what you do," and even just critiques. If they willing to accept it, or some people might look at me and go, "You're a deathmatch guy. Get the fuck away from me." I don't know.
Let's see. Joe said you were supposed to win TOS when you got knocked out.
I'm not gonna answer that, and the only reason I'm not gonna answer that is because maybe that's the one thing that keeps part of this stuff alive, man, is the wondering and the knowing, and I wish I could be a fan again, like I like just like I used to be, and maybe not always know what the answer is, to certain things, or maybe to not find out what was supposed to happen. um I like to think that you know uh I would have threw everybody through through a loop there. I wanted people to not know the entire time. That was the objective of the match. So, to end result, I just want to maybe keep that to myself, because I would rather it be what it was, and it turned into something else. And so, the results are there. I mean, Alex came out on top, but if I could go and rewind, I wish we could have just did what we were supposed to do.
All right, we can respect that. Ricky said, "Are you able to tattoo yet?"
No, Ricky, I can't. The reason why I can't, and I said this earlier a little bit, was stretching the skin. I can't really move just two fingers at the same time. Like, they all kind of move. Like, if I move one, the other one moves, and it's like, oh shit. So getting that motor function down to just be able to stretch skin, to like do it like that. However, I need to do it. And when you stretch skin on tattooing, sometimes it's a harder stretch, sometimes it's not a harder stretch, depending on what you're doing. So uh, it's really kind of out of the question until I can really get those motor skills, or make just be able to make that kind of motion, and have the strength. I need the strength to do that.
How long you been tattooing?
Almost for as long as I've been wrestling. I just kind of went in and out of it because I spent more time, uh, trying to do the wrestling and pursue other things, and I just kept dipping into tattooing, and I worked for two different shops, and just kind of went back and forth. And then the first shop I was ever involved in was just a fucking shit show. It was like, it was that fucking guy. Everybody knows somebody like this, probably. He went to jail. He tattooed in fucking jail with one fucking single needle. and then got out and thought he could fucking open up a shop, get his business license, and fucking do his little pokey bullshit. And then when he did his pokey fucking bullshit, I came in there and I was trying to do something more, and I'd ask him, "Well, what do you do in this situation? Or what happens if this happens? What do you do?" His answer was always, "I don't know. Cover your bottle or or shit like that, or cover your wire." And I'm like, "Yeah, I already got that. Like, I'm talking about the technical aspect of tattooing here. I'm like, what trial and error? What can I do?" He wasn't really a teacher. He was just some slumlord with a fucking one single needle that he snuck into the fucking jail cell and poked his buddies for fucking, for a pack of smokes, and then got out and fucking, you know, started his business up. That's what I got involved in. So I had a sour taste in my mouth about the tattoo industry off the gate. And then I realized it's not like that when I started talking to more people in the business and friends of mine.
Let's see. Tim says, thank you for everything, man. Have to say, fuck Jim Cornette, of course, and can't wait for your return.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, man. That means a lot. I mean, I appreciate everybody that followed, whatever I'm doing. So, yeah, and regardless of the context of what it is, I appreciate it, man. Everything.
Let's see. John, you're one of the best hybrid wrestlers in the business. What non-deathmatch wrestler would you like to face that you haven't?
Oh, thank you, John. I appreciate that. I like the hybrid thing. I'm a huge fan of that. From with guys that I enjoy watching, and uh, non-death match, man. I want to wrestle Chris Dickinson, dude.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That
dude.
dude is a beast.
Yeah, yeah. I just his intensity, man. You bring anybody that brings that kind of fucking intensity and stuff. I'd love to wrestle Chris. I'd love to wrestle Tony too. Tony Deppen, man. I those guys. That's kind of like Dickinson, which just came off the top because it's just something that I think it's one of those things. And I'm always been the fan of this. It's shit you don't know that you want to see, and then when they say it, you're like, what the fuck would happen? Like you're curious. That is the appeal of fucking wrestling. That's what it should be. It should be this. Here's this guy, this character who's fucking night and day different than this fucking dude here. Let's fucking put them together and see what happens. I love that. I always loved that. I thought that was always an amazing dichotomy.
Let's see.
So yeah,
Brian Cummins.
Dickinson. Let's fucking headbutt each other.
Oh, I want to see that.
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm
That
just
would be
saying.
fucking
Yeah, it
nuts.
was just off the top of the head, but I'm just saying I could thought about it more, but I'm just saying he's one guy that I know that's like I don't know, and I vibe with him too. He's fucking into some cool ass shit, and I dig what he does. I like his fucking intensity. I like his fucking yeah, his energy's awesome.
Let's see. Brian Cummins. Would you consider Zona 23 in the future?
And it's funny because uh, that I think was inevitable. You know, um, like I'd say this past year, it was something that was kind of on the radar of doing. Um, I know people kind of dig what they do and stuff. Like I dig what they do. I like watching it. It's insane. I kind of want to watch a whole event. I've never actually watched the full event. They're just multiple clip videos and that sort of thing. But
The
them just
junkyard
right, them just
ones are awesome.
haphazardly throwing each other off the fucking top of a truck onto a fucking car that's already been landed on 700 times. Like that's not a flat landing. Like they're landing on this bumpy ass metal fucked up frame and with glass all over it.
I
You know,
know.
there's some fucking crazy fucking dudes, man. And I don't know. I dig that though. That's once again that's deathmatch wrestling is punk rock through and through, but like underground, dirty, fucking gnarled up, crazy shit. Like that's what Zona is, man. And yeah, of course, anybody would want to be a part of it. It's just, I mean, if you're into deathmatch wrestling, of course, some people might look at it and be like, "Nah, I'd never fucking do that."
Oh, they'll be like, that's shit.
Right. I've
No.
had sketchier times in Mexico. I had friends go down there. Murdoch and Bentley went down there. They said they had a fucking killer time. So when I heard that from them, I was like, all right, cool, that's cool. I'm glad they enjoyed themselves. They said they took care of them too, and fuck yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Kyle Ryan wants to know: have you ever wrestled for JCW?
No, I never wrestled for JCW. Um,
Would you?
yeah, yeah, I would. And I'll be the first to admit I'm not a I'm not a juggalo guy. I'm not into the whole deal. But like, if they and I've heard positive things. They paid the guys and they have them come in. They have them do some. It's a good time. It's fun. I I'd be open to fun too. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna be
Oh
not
yeah.
going to have a fucking blast with people. I'm not gonna shit on them for what they like. That's fine. If you want to like that stuff, that's fine. It's just not for me. But like I would still have a fucking blast. I know I would have fucking fun. There would be no doubt. Like the people were probably cool as shits. Like I've never met somebody I've particularly said like, oh, he's wearing an ICP shirt. He's an asshole. Like
Let's see. Joe wants to know: why was the awakening gimmick kind of killed off?
fuck, man. Uh it sucked. I mean, I'll just say that right off the bat. That's the first feeling I get because the thing with that was that it was gonna do kind of devolve into this new, kind of the darker thing, and get some fucking. It had something behind it. People actually kind of like were digging what was going on, and the way it started with Janela and Tremont and Penelope, and it developed into this thing. And then when I made my fucking appearance, like just slowly building these characters into these like, who the fuck's this guy? Or, oh shit, it's Raver. He just came out of nowhere and hit fucking Janela, and like that was the fun part. It was the build to this. It was like, oh, here we have this thing, and now we have to learn to take it into different directions and see what we can do with it. So we were so excited to do that, but for whatever reason, I don't know if it was, different uh, eyes on the product, or that just didn't like what was going on. I don't know what it was. A lot of it I think was just not giving it a chance. And then what ended up happening was they just kind of slowly, once Matt kind of flipped back, and that was for his match, with Onita, which understandably I understand that, like he's got to be the bulldozer for this kind of thing. That made sense to me. But the fact is, matter like is we could have flipped that back and got right back behind the whole awakening thing and kept it going with me and Stock, and I just thought that was a cool thing. And me and Stock tagging up was always awesome. We always had fucking fun, and we could have killed it with some of the guys. We never really had a fucking legitimate match with fucking Schlack and Dan. They were always kind of crap out into some like brawl or some multi-man thing that just got kind of lost in the shuffle. And yeah, it sucked, man. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't know. I mean, I could sit here and say that it was because of this, and this, bad ideas, blah blah blah, certain people. I don't know who was in charge of that. I don't know who had their fucking hand in that shit at the time. So I don't
Okay. Let's see. Cody, he said, "Hey Raver, what's the meaning behind the tattoo on the side of your head?"
know. The goat or the fucking dinosaur?
Uh, let's go with both of them.
Well, the goat. I wanted a Baphomet head on me at some point. Obviously, it's just it's my fuck you in a sense. And the dinosaurs because I love fucking dinosaurs. I, I've always loved fucking the T Rex. I love Jurassic Park. I was always into Godzilla. I'm really into Godzilla. Uh, Yeah, so it was always I just really dug that, and I just kind of really wanted it, on my body somewhere. I was always into dinosaurs. I mean, as far as it goes back that I can remember, like baby shit. I was always had like plastic dinosaurs and stuff. That was like my first kind of like, man, this is my deal, the dinosaurs. So I was like, I gotta fucking put it on my head somewhere. So I drew this up, and then I had Kelly from Bombshell Tattoo where I was working before this happened, and had her put it on my head.
So you would go ape shit crazy if somebody got you a dinosaur birthday cake.
Yeah, for sure. And people did. Stereotypical dinosaur shape bullshit. I was happy as hell. It didn't matter. And then like even when I went to Japan, I'll fucking if I can I can grab it. Like the fans like knew I was into this shit. So like they gave me gifts. They gave
That
me
is
gifts.
awesome.
Yeah, like they just brought this up to me and like we're like, this is for you. And you can see on there, I mean, it's legit. And I'm
That's
like,
fucking
wow,
awesome.
this is cool. Fuck,
That is cool. I
right?
like that shit. Let's
Got
see,
some from Japan. Why not?
for real. Let's see, Gene, where's the line you would never cross in death matches? And when is deathmatch wrestling going too far for you? Sorry for the bad English.
Oh, no problems, Jensen. I, here's what I'm gonna say. Whenever I got involved in deathmatch wrestling, I said I'm probably not gonna fucking do barefoot shit. I'm not gonna fucking do gusset plates. Um, and maybe not syringes. And I was pretty set in stone that that's kind of where I kind of drew the line for myself. I'm sure there's, I mean, other things in there, but for the most part, that, especially barefoot shit. Here's the problem: I did fucking all of them. I said, "Oh fuck, I'm not gonna do this shit. Like I'm not doing it." And then I did it all. I was convinced somehow, in some way, uh, to do it in whatever manner it was. Barefoot was IWA, although it's very timid to what you're probably. I mean, you hear deathmatch and you hear barefoot, you think of JC Bailey and Thumbs
Yes.
Back. You know what I mean? Like that's what you think with barefoot. This wasn't really like that. There was fucking little plastic green army man, me and Reed Bentley, and we had fun. We had a blast. I didn't like the fact that I had nothing on my feet though. Like I didn't even like touching the fucking concrete with my bare feet. I hate it. Yeah, it's like a pet peeve. It's like a big pet peeve of mine. Um, and I was convinced to somehow do that. And then, of course, the gusset plates just kind of happened because what happens is too, and we agreed on this. We had an interview when we had the Hard Way documentary. We sat at a table and we fucking talked about this. We're like, so what brings it out in you to do things that maybe you said you weren't going to do? And what it does is becomes like you get to know other workers so well that you work with on a regular basis. And then you say, oh, well, last night I seen fucking Jeff Cannonball and fucking Schlack stab each other in the fucking face with gusset plates and just hammer them in. I can do that too, you know? I can do that. No problem. He did it. Like, that's what it becomes. It becomes this, like, uh, fuck. Well, if he did it, then, I could definitely do it. And then you try it, and then it's like, well, fuck me. It's kind of the whole jump off the bridge thing, yeah. But it's a different way. Like I'm gonna say, in the sense where you're just like, if you entrust in somebody that you would normally work with, and they're doing it, you got to say to yourself, I could probably be all right with it. And then it just all fucking started to happen. And I just did it all. But I'd say the line. Oh, back to the question. The line. Uh, Obviously, I don't like when bad shit happens. Jimmy Lloyd and the scissors, like I didn't mean that. That wasn't what I wanted to do. I didn't want that to happen to him. He just was playing up scissors so fucking much. I was like, you have to fucking do the scissors, Jimmy, because you've been saying about how you're not scared of scissors and shit. I'm like, so now you have to fucking do that. And so it's the bad things that happen. I'd say where the line is obviously I didn't want the fucking blade end. That blade end went to the hilt, man. It went
Yeah, I
the whole way
know.
in, the whole way the fuck in, and then he pulled the whole fucking thing out. Thank fuck it didn't mess anything up in his body, like muscle tissues or anything like that. I mean that we know of, but it went in at such an angle that it didn't like stab him like straight down in, but it went
That was some
underneath his
scary
skin and
shit right there.
still deep. So
Yeah.
So yeah, like I mean that. obviously that and obviously fuckers that stab each other with box cutters and shit like this. We already know that this shit is dumb. If you want to see it, it's fine. You can see it all you want. I don't care what you want to watch, but I'm just saying it's just not a thing that needs to be. You know, I'm not
Did
gonna.
you see the Angel of Death tournament?
No, I didn't see it. However, I'm having a friend send me a copy of it because I want to watch it.
Have you seen any clips or anything of it?
No.
Okay, I'm not gonna ruin anything for you then.
All right, cool.
Let's see. Let's talk
Yeah,
about
'cause I
Blood
really,
Feast. What's that?
yeah, I didn't even see it like through my feed or on any of the deathmatch fucking pages. Really, I mean, it might have happened when it was just like currently happening. I might have been doing something, and then it just kind of, I didn't see it really get around. It didn't get like
Okay.
a far reach for me, anyway.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything about it. I'm gonna let you be
Yeah,
surprised.
I'll have the DVD. My buddy, well, I'm gonna plug him, Funkenstein's Wrestling Store, in fucking New Jersey, and he's at the flea market out there, man, and he kills it. Love the dude. He hooks it up every time. Was checking out some stuff, but he's gonna send me a copy because he had a copy, I think, in his store.
Cool, man. Cool. Let's see. Let's talk about the Blood Feast, the final, the single light tube and cardboard box death match. We talked to Pondo about that. Not when we first started doing this shit, and he said there was a whole table full of weapons that y'all could have used. What's your side?
Well, here's what happened. It was a matter of this. Not only was the single box light tube match one of the most deadliest, disgusting, vile, brutal death matches in all the world, but the reason why we missed what essentially would have been uh, a better death match was because we just didn't see it. We just
Ah,
we just didn't. It wasn't in our line of sight because I told them, and here's the thing. Now, though, maybe they'll argue this. I don't really care at this point. The match will go down in deathmatch history as being one of the most violent matches in the planet. But I digress. We didn't see the fucking table. I told them. I said they said there's a table of stuff on there. I said pull it to the ring. I said pull it to the side of the ring because obviously that's where we want to have this stuff. Plus, we'll know it's there. And we just didn't. We just everywhere that we wrestled, we just didn't have our eyes set on our surroundings or where this stuff was. We thought they were gonna throw more shit in the ring initially too. It just didn't fucking happen. And we were like, where's all this stuff? So we just did what we could and made the best of it. And we just didn't know where these weapons had ever been. And even the following night, our advice was taken into consideration that for the women's show, because the table had the fucking weapons right next to the ring where I wanted it.
so
Yeah,
y'all just didn't see it.
yeah. It was out of sight, out of mind, that kind of thing. We were just like, where the fuck? And we legitimately, I will shit you not, and I got people that can prove it. I asked Schlack, I asked fucking Marcus, I asked everybody else. I said, where the fuck were these weapons at? Because we didn't fucking see them. We just weren't sure of the exact location, and we just never, were battling and coming up with spots that we had really no idea what we were gonna do when we didn't have anything in the fucking ring. We were just like, okay, well that went to shit because there goes all these ideas and these ideas, and we just said fuck it. We tried to make the best of it. So that's just the product of what that was, and then yeah, so single box light tube match.
Let's see, Jesse. If you could wrestle any wrestler, past or present, in a death match, who would you wrestle?
Was that past or present? You broke up there for a second.
If you could wrestle any wrestler, past or present, who would you wrestle in a death match?
Hayabusa.
Ooh,
Hayabusa for sure. And right alongside him, Thumbtack Jack.
what type of match?
I want exploding things, man. I didn't get. That's the only thing I didn't really get to do. There's a couple things I didn't get to do for a long time. One of them was obviously any kind of explosions because that just wasn't in sight or in mind. I don't think for anybody here until obviously Onita came over and that sort of started a popular, you know, trend of trying to do that here in America a lot and stuff like that. Exploding baseball bat, that sort of thing. Or Zandig doing it, you know, TOD, that's another thing. But yeah, like exploding cage, something like that would be cool. Even exploding barbed wire ropes, something like that would be awesome. Even with thumbtack would be awesome.
Oh yeah, that Hayabusa one and exploding match. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
it was big on me, man. He was a huge inspiration for me. Another hybrid dude, you know,
oh yeah.
could wrestle his ass off and then do some
Let's
crazy.
see. The comments are coming in so fast.
Just
I don't even have time to read them all.
I'll try. I'll try to fucking shorten and whatever answers I can to get everybody in, but
Let's see. Heath. Thoughts on Schlack and Necro Butcher in ICW?
fucking cool, fucking awesome. I mean, what's not cool about that? I mean, that's just what I want to see. I mean, just like I said, maybe on paper, you just take Schlack and Necro Butcher, and you just think the two, and whatever they fucking do to each other, I can't wait. I'm gonna be there, so I'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Adam. Adam wants to say. Major love, man. Hope you're recovering well.
Thank you, Adam. I appreciate it, man. I hope you're in good spirits too, dude.
Let's see. Alex. Who's your favorite band and what was the last concert you went to? It was awesome seeing you live at Crimson Cup 2. Hope you heal up quickly.
Thank you, Alex, man. I appreciate that. It was fun to be down, you know, in Crimson Cup too. Cali's that's always fun, man. It's just a cool fucking place. Um, I'm trying to think the last show I was down. Man, now I'm gonna be fucking an asshole because I'm trying to think of the names of the bands. It was actually a basement like like death grind metal mix of all kinds of shit in this tiny basement in fucking Jersey. I think I posted on my Instagram. I think I want to say the one band was Blight. Hang on a fucking minute. This was where I was at. I bought their CD, and I don't even have a CD fucking player. And they're both, I believe, they're both bands are from Jersey. And yeah, I don't know if you can see that at all. Try to get you
Yes.
be able to read it. Yeah,
Let's see.
but that's where I was. And these are the two bands. And yeah, the ones I think it's pronounced Bite, and then Replicant. And there's a band. Those are both bands from Jersey, and they were just cool. I just dug it. It would just sound like slimy fucking grind shit, and I was all about it. But yeah,
Awesome. Um. Who makes your mask?
uh, there was this guy named Adam uh, Stelio. I think it's pronounced his last name. I'm not sure. He he produced the actual like molding itself, like with the resin because it's made out of resin, and you know the bottom jaw is made out of resin. And then he would send me the pieces. Here, I'll try to give you an example too. Like this is how these are blanks of my mask. Like these are incomplete, obviously. That's the top piece of resin. That's just solid resin on the inside. All that deal. This is how they come. He sends them to me. That's the bottom jaw. And of course, has like little holes for that's to attach to there,
Right.
so on and so forth. And then I
Okay.
paint it up, and I paint it up, and then I get the horns and attach them, and then paint the horns. I produce the horns and the paint job, and then pretty much constructing what he gives me as a blank, and then I put
Okay,
the rest together myself. So yeah, there you
there we go. Let's see. How was your time at Carnage Cup 11?
go. An experience, man. I'm just gonna say it was an experience. It was it was an experience on itself, man. I'm not gonna say I didn't have a good time. I had a great time. Do I wish me and Dale's match had a different gimmick? Yeah, because I think like we just didn't want to shortchange anybody, and a lot of things were kind of like goofy. And once some of the animal shit got involved, I was ex-naying that shit from the start, man. I was like, I'm
Okay.
not no tarantulas and no fucking animals that could potentially get stomped or hurt or anything like that. It's not really a thing. The only thing we did, and we didn't do really anything to them, and it was there was some leeches in that fucking pool with me trying to fucking struggle to fucking pull fucking Dale's fucking pants down so he could dip his ass in the water with the leeches. But aside from that, I mean, we made the best of it. We tried to do some cool shit. You know, I had my Newell spot. We had the fucking suplex steel on the outside through the fucking blue tubes and fucking fish fart that was on the fucking table. So, I mean, it just, yeah, I had fun though. In the end of it, everybody was fucking cordial. Everybody fucking offered shit, food, tents, whatever. Fucking good time, fun. It was fun.
Awesome. Let's see. Joe, do you follow ICW Milwaukee? Ever consider Insane Eight?
Yeah, I do. I have followed Milwaukee one, and the Insane Eight deal always seemed appealing to me. I was always kind of like, definitely something I would have in the books. I think at one point it was kind of lined up to do something, and it just kind of counteracted with something else I was doing. I'm not sure, but I'm sure I'd be, I'd always had the idea of being open to that for sure because I knew about the Insane Eight before. I really delved into deathmatch wrestling.
Let's see. James. Oh, I went away too fast. Okay. Um, let's talk about your time in Japan.
That's just a fucking amazing experience altogether, man. Because that's something that I tell people all the time. Like, uh, obviously, like Japan's a goal for people, and for me to think that I was ever gonna go seemed almost, I don't know, just you don't want to say no, you don't want to say it's not gonna happen, but you just say like, I did an interview like a while back with a local guy from here. His name's Ken Downs. He runs uh, Imagine Pro Wrestling here, but he did an interview with me. I wholeheartedly he asked me like what I want to accomplish, and I was like, I want Japan, man, and that wasn't even in the possibility zone. And then lo and behold, the next year it was a thing. So the fact that it was happening, it was surreal for everybody that was there. The minute we landed and we were getting going, we're like, holy shit, man, this is happening. And we just like, I mean, we just like lived in it. Everything about it was amazing. So,
Not
yeah.
only that, but you got to wrestle Jun Kasai
Right, dude. I mean, this is
in Japan.
right, right. This isn't, that's, I mean, when do you say it's like, I'm going to have a death match in Japan? The glass ceiling of fucking death match wrestling is Japan. We all know this. So, the glass ceiling being that, on top of being in Japan, and then on top of it being, like I said, the main death match dude, and you have a really good match with a guy that was like a guy that you idolize, you fucking grew up watching, like I got his fucking action figures over there, you know what I mean? Like that's how, I mean, I've had them for fucking forever. You know what I mean? And this is Crazy Monkey we're talking about here. You know what I mean? And to get to that and then to have that with him, that was more special than anything. And then for him to once again, wasn't a thing of just working. It was like we were vibing, we were having fun with each other's fucking ideas about the match and the way we wanted it to go. So yeah,
Okay. Let's
dude.
see. Richard.
Love it.
He said, "What are your thoughts on Marcus Crane and how the deathmatch community supports its wrestlers?"
Thanks for asking that, Richard, because that was going to be something. I mean, I was going to maybe close this out with, but I'll gladly answer it now because um, you guys were amazing. Uh, Not only with the support of me and everything you had done to make things happen, and I was, I'll admit I was so against fucking GoFundMe's and all that shit. I didn't want any of that. I just wanted you guys to get something from me or get something out of the deal. Had you had donated any kind of money to me in any sort of facet, and I'm still selling T-shirts and still selling stuff. So you guys, on top of what's going on, and then I'm so thankful because with that and for myself, and it means even more to me from now Marcus because Marcus, uh, has done so much for me. He's been a great friend to me. I think he's given you guys a fucking fair share of entertainment, and I think you guys showing how fast, and even with me, you guys fucking blasted that up. And his GoFundMe, I don't even know where it's at currently, but that happened so quick. So to see everybody supporting him, especially now, I want that. If I could reverse the roles around, it's even with fucking where I have when this happened to me, I would have given all that to him, uh, and I want that to uh, show itself obviously to him, and I think he's gonna be real happy to see how supportive you guys are and everything you're doing, patches, shirts, um, the GoFundMe of course itself, and then just the outpour of guys sharing things and helping out. So guys, just please keep sharing it, and I appreciate the absolute everything that you guys are doing for him. For me, I have this, path to take, and I know where I have to go. And Marcus has a bigger path than me, and I appreciate you guys fucking supporting him. It means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to Marcus. I think I can speak for him on that. And every
I
fucking
agree.
wrestler fucking that knows him, every fucking guy that's traveled with him or knows him personally, is thanking you too. There's not a doubt in my mind.
Let's see. Richard wants to know your thoughts on intergender death matches. Should there be more of them?
Yeah, why not?
I agree.
I just that's pretty. I mean, I'm just gonna. I mean, I think I can just leave it at that. Why not, man? I'm entertained by the intergender stuff. I like it.
Let's
You
see. Jesse, premium fucking Godzilla, man.
know, thanks, man. He's badass. He's from Japan, so it makes him cooler. I don't.
That is fucking awesome. Let's see. In 2015 at VOW, you had a light to prison death match with Masada.
Yeah,
Was that the first time you went against Masada?
that was the first time I went against Masada, and that was the first time I had done glass. Yeah,
How
any kind of.
how did that go? Like your thoughts on that?
Uh, it where my head was at the time was I was taking a break from wrestling because I had hurt my lower back in West Virginia doing a double team move with Gory, and we landed on something and it twisted me up. And we landed awkwardly on the two guys that were in the ring, and I did a swanton and I landed, and I knew something was wrong. It was slowing me down, and I knew if my body was telling me that everything was hurting, I'm like, I need to take a break and I need to chill, but I need to go out with a bang. And I'm just thinking at the time, I was like, I don't know what to do. And then BOW presented, we're bringing in Masada. It's going to be you and Masada and Lord of Anarchy in, a tubes match and whatever you want in the match. And I'm like, what the fuck? At first, I mean, your first take that in, you say to yourself, you're about to have a match with Masada. And Masada, you watch his matches, see what he's done to people. And you're just thinking, fuck. Like I'm gonna be fucked. But in my head, I said, why not? Like what a better way to go out, And
Right.
yeah, just an amazing experience in itself. There, it was very early in obviously in the death match, having that much glass. Uh, Very early in that, in a sense, and how much it was, and for what it was, you know, I felt good about it, and he felt good about it. And he afterwards, you know, he had asked me, he's like, "Is that it was your first death match, like with glass and stuff?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, like that much stuff, and primarily glass." And he was like, "You did good, man." He's like, "I didn't." He's like, "I didn't get pissed off. I didn't get fucking mad at you, not once." So, you know what I mean? Like that's so that was a great feeling. And what that happened was the end result of that was that there was this outpour. I wanted to take a break, and then all these companies, and I knew I had to take the break still, but all these companies, CZW, IWA Mid South, all these places I wanted to be were hitting me up right after that fucking happened. Right after that happened, so many companies hit me up, and I was just like fucking my mouth's on the floor, and I'm thinking, man, I got to take some time away. And then I'm like, is this gonna be here for me if I take a break and come back to it? And it all was. After I took a fucking 6 month hiatus, everything was there for me when I got back, waiting,
That
and
is
it
awesome.
just kept going, man. You know, it just kept fucking propelling. Shit.
Oh yeah, yeah. You met Tarantino and Leo in Japan.
Yes.
How did that happen?
Oh fuck, man. Uh, two friends there. They they wanted to take me out to eat at a diner. This internal, like it was like literally fucking pig internals and whatever else. I don't even know what it was, just pigs. It was all kinds of internals fried on a grill and given to me, and I ate everything. And then they're like, later on in the night, they're like, "You want to go to this bar?" And they showed me pictures, and it had this red lighting to it. Looked like, you know, Bray Wyatt, Hell in a Cell kind of thing. If you just want to visualize that, but it looked like that. The lighting was all red, and it was called the Piano Bar. So we went into the piano bar. We sat. There was another a bunch of people. We had like three of our friends and just me, and we were just chilling. And we were just getting beers and little snacks and things like that. We had been there for a while, and the couple that was sitting across from us, they got up and they left. And then like later on, a bunch of people started piling up. And the last person to come up the stairs, the one guy I didn't see because he had a health mask on. That was Leo the entire time. I had no idea because he had the health mask on. And
Right.
I seen, I was like, is that, oh my God, it's Quentin Tarantino. Holy shit. Um, and then we're sitting there, and my first initial thought in any of this is like, be calm, be calm, be cool, just be chill, and you're gonna get a better result, a better experience out of this in the long run. So I just remained calm, and obviously because I spoke English very well, and he was sitting across from me, and Tarantino was the first one to address me and ask me why I was in Japan. I said because of wrestling. We got into wrestling. We started talking about psychology of movies and wrestling and how they kind of coincide in weird ways. And then at the time, like my vape had broke, so I had a pack of cigarettes, and then I some dude in the corner who I didn't know who it was at the time reached over and said, "Hey, can I have one?" Because I asked them if they would mind if I smoked a cigarette, and they said no. So I asked them, and I'm like, "All right." And he's like, "Can I have a cigarette?" And I'm like, "Sure, man." And I fucking took the cigarette out and I handed it over, and it's fucking Leonardo DiCaprio, and I'm sitting there, and that didn't register to me until later, like until that moment. I'm like, he's been sitting there the whole time making comments, and I've been just kind of like, "Well, yeah, you know, like whoa," like talking to him just as a regular person. So, in the end result was, we had a great night. I said, "Hey," I said, "I want to appreciate you guys more than anything." I said, "Already is it fucking here because I'm in Japan wrestling and I'm here with friends of mine and fans and uh, I'm already here and you guys just made it fucking an unbelievable experience in this random fucking thing. Can we take a picture?" And they're like, "No, man, absolutely." And they ran downstairs and we all took a picture outside, and then they went along their way. They went wherever they were going. They had the premiere for the movie while they were there. That's what the whole reason they were there in the first place. It already aired Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Already aired in America. Well, it airs later in Japan. So that's why they were there. The last part of this is we go into the bar, and we were getting ready to go back upstairs, and we were taking pictures with the bar owner. I have pictures of that I haven't posted yet, but it's me with the bar owner, and he was super cool. And then next thing you know, he says, "By the way, they covered your whole tab from the time that you were here until just now, until they left." And I was like, "Holy shit!" Like they just covered our fucking tab. We just had this amazing fucking time and awesome experience, awesome dudes. Very one on one, very chill, and yeah, I couldn't trade that for anything, man. That was fucking awesome. And
That
right
is
after
awesome.
wrestled Jun Kasai too.
Oh, that was right after?
Right after,
Oh, that is awesome.
yeah.
Uh, Brian Cummings, thoughts on the Nick Gage RSP storyline?
Thoughts on it? I mean, it's got you guys right. It's got me.
It
I
does.
I love what they're doing with this because here's the thing too. If you think back to a lot of early GCW, you know, maybe it was just creatively at the time, maybe it was just whatever. I mean, not only did you see matches that you wanted to see, but there was nothing really. There was not until maybe Tremont and Gage. There was that build to that story of these two fucking dudes that are gonna fucking murder each other, and it's just gonna progressively get fucking worse and worse and worse, and it's gonna come to this crescendo that's gonna be like, holy shit. That's how you guys felt about Gage and Tremont. I felt that those guys, you know, they put on the fucking show they could for you guys, and I feel like this is even better because here you have these two different fucking really these two different guys and he's doing different things on different spectrums once again. Maybe a thing that you didn't know you wanted to see, but once it was thrown to you and they told it the way they did and they got this fucking going the way they're doing, of course you're gonna fucking follow that. I want to see them fucking murder each other, man. That's what
That's what I want to
I'm
see.
waiting for. I'm like, I want to see this, like, especially now that I have the fucking back seat. I can fucking watch what they're gonna do. They're gonna kill each other. They're gonna.
Oh yeah, I just want to see them go at it. It don't even have to be for the title. I just want to see them go at it.
Right. It
That's
wouldn't have
it.
the title for me either. I just want to see that fucking. I want to see that match. I want to see that. I want to see that in its purest form. Like, boom, there they are. Those two. No bullshit. Boom. That's
They are gonna fuck each other up.
right. So like, that's my thoughts on it. It has my attention. So if it has my attention, I think Ricky even fucking mentioned me in last time he was saying out there. He's doing this he's being the Robin Hood, right? He's the Robin Hood of GCW. He's doing it for the little guys like me and Alex Malone and Eric Ryan. It's crazy, man.
The tattoo needles. When did they come about? Wait, how did they come about? Is it like a kind of like a tribute to Masada, or with his skewers?
I'll tell you what happened. Basically, I mean, people. Obviously, with me being a tattoo artist, I felt like, man, there's got to be a way that I could utilize these in in a way. And then I felt obviously the dead given was to jam them in somebody's head or other body parts. And so my first instinct, and this is going to be kind of a obviously an inside look to it. It was something where, and I want other workers, if there's any other workers watching this too, it has always been driven into my head. Never fucking do something that's similar to something or direct. Never do something that's that direct without fucking asking. Ask them. Simple, easy fucking solution to your fucking problem. It's respectful. All you'd have to do is say, I want to know who the first fucking guy that was took the skewers, right? And saw Masada do it and did it the next fucking week. Who was that guy? And I want to know if he reached out to him and said, "Hey, Masada, do you care if I would you care if I did this during in my match?" Uh, I would like to hope that that's what happened with the tattoo needles. I did that immediately with him. This was before I did them at all. I said, obviously, I want to drive them in the top of the head. That's very similar. They're tattoo needles. They're not skewers, but it's very similar in the sense. Um, and he was so he was appreciative. At least I hope he was. of me coming at him, and I feel like that's definitely been uh, shown on his side that he's respected the fact that I asked him, even though he felt that they were very different in a sense. It's a different
Right.
object. It's not skewers. It's tattoo needles, that sort of thing. But had I really not seen Masada do the skewers, would I'd ever thought to do them like that? I don't know. Maybe I poked my hand with one like years ago before I was even in wrestling, and was like, "Oh shit, it's hanging in me." Uh, like, but that was the biggest thing. Like, I just wanted to make sure he was cool with it, so I wasn't, biting off of him necessarily. I don't, and I've never really gotten to the, I don't think the backlash from fans, or I've never gotten any backlash from him. And I think that just comes down to the fact that I think some people knew. I mean, obviously you didn't know that, but some people knew about that actually, and I think some fans knew that I had asked him and approached him about it, even though he really had no qualms with me even, doing it in the first place. But I didn't give a fuck. It was too similar to me. It was like, this isn't really that night and day. I wanna make sure it's cool. So,
Yeah, yeah. A
so that's
respectful thing.
man. That's where it came about, obviously. So now it's like my fucking trademark and my whole fucking deal.
Let's see. Johnny said, "Hey, G-Raver, when will come back in 2001
I
in
don't think I want
2021?"
to. I want to come back before 2001. I mean, that's just what it is, man. I want to come back before that. Obviously, 2001 is, if for whatever reason I can't, and that's the option, and that's what I have to live with or decide with, and then so be it. But I think I'm going to see more progress. At least I want more progress, at least from what my hand can do right now, which is just kind of wiggling and bending down a little bit, but not bending the joints. So
Right.
I need the strength in order to feel good. So hopefully, I'm hoping at least by the fucking time that I'm fucking, at least a year in, at least that year mark, I hope I'm fucking doing something.
Schlack says Richard Lang.
Fucking shit, man. I just glad he popped in on this.
I'm glad he popped in too. uh, the picture that's on the screen, that's from whenever you had that injury at Two Cups, right?
Yep, that'd be it, man.
That's
What you're seeing there, and I'll explain this to people that seen it on Instagram or seen it on fucking Facebook. From my armpit is over to the left there, and my nerves, you can see are ones that look like they have like little tubular fucking things attached to them. And basically, those are burnt on, and it's from that point over. Those are all cadaver nerves. Those are all dead people nerves. So some John Doe or whatever gave me his nerves, and I think that's even crazier because I have dead body parts in me. But then underneath there, of course, was one of my main arteries, which I did hit, hence a lot of the blood. But yeah, so those were fused together, and then basically, all that had to fucking heal up. And right now, from what the doctor says, and you can see where the scar is here, maybe you can see.
right. Yep.
Yeah, uh, it should be healed to here by this point. So that takes care of maybe that nerve connection. But now it's got to make its connection the whole way up here and into my hands. And the part about the 2 year thing is what happens is in 2 years after he sees the maximum amount of movement, I may have to have a second surgery for my wrist because I also don't have a ton of wrist support. So like if I came back to wrestling, my first instinct or thought is maybe I'm gonna have a brace of some
Right.
sort to keep my wrist steady, and that's just to know that I can be okay with doing what I have to do and being safe with whoever.
Maybe
But
you could sort something out with some gauntlets or
right,
something.
fuck it, I don't know, maybe something. I'm trying to come up with something. But yeah, I mean, essentially that's what needs to happen, and that's kind of what that's showing. That's he let me take a picture of his phone because obviously they can't release me taking the actual photo, but I took a pretty good shot, so it works.
Awesome. Let's see. Jesse, the roof spot by the pool was epic. Were
Oh,
you legit hurt from that?
uh, it hurt, But I'll tell you why it hurt is that I kind of, once I was up there and I realized that I had to kind of project myself and in a weird downward motion that I thought, and I kind of missed, and essentially I hit tables. It slowed me down, kind of not as fucking slow as I thought it would. So I kind of grazed some of them, and then some of them that broke, and then by the time I hit the ground, it was just kind of like a thud, and I'm like, fuck. So it just knocked the wind out of me, and but yeah, it was a jump because I never got to fucking. I never went up on top of there. I never looked at anything. I never said like, "Oh man, I'll be all right." I'll be just like whatever. I just said, "Fuck it." Like, we'll just do that.
Let's see. Devon wants to say, you the man.
Thank you, Devon. I appreciate it. Testify, brother.
In 2018, you did a no ring death match with Casanova.
Yeah,
Well, how do you feel about no rings compared to having a ring?
I had fun with it, and the fact that Vice covered the whole thing, that was awesome exposure in itself. I love the fact that that was there. I mean, I don't discredit what they are. Um, I have fun at every one I've had. No ring, the No Peace Underground, fucking those guys. I love those guys. Everybody that's down there is fucking awesome. What they're doing with it is just cool, and it's got a cool vibe to it. Cool fan base too. Really it just had this cool thing with like people were super happy that you were there, even though you're not there all the time. When you were there, they were like, "Oh fuck," like yes, and it just a great fucking atmosphere. And even in that like Vice documentary, I had a fucking blast having that, because that was the first time. I kind of wondered, like, I mean, there was a time that if you would have presented this to somebody back in the day, you would have been like, should we really do that? Like, should does this like but then you started like realizing like Zack Sabre Jr. did one, and fucking Masada did one, and Tremont did one, and fucking Chuck Taylor did one, and you're like, come on, I got to do one now. Like this is fun. This looks like fun. So like, no, I love it, man. I think it's great. I hope it continues. Doing what it's doing. I supportive of that.
Awesome. Cody says, who would you consider your main influences?
Ooh, fuck. I'm gonna go back to the Hayabusa thing for sure. That was a big one. Um, I always enjoyed Macho Man as a kid. I really enjoyed him. Um, I'm just throwing a couple out here, but um, obviously Mick Foley. Uh, always liked Bam Bam Bigelow. Of course, I like the Undertaker. I always like the Hardys. And then they were once again they were like that hybrid style guys, and then I started going in that direction. Sick Nick Mondo, Thumbtack Jack. Uh, yeah, man. I mean, it varies, man. You'll notice, and I think I love this about wrestling is that when you get into wrestling, you really start to love it. You start to realize like you've pulled from different people and different styles of wrestling because you love a little bit of everything, and you're just like, oh man, I would love to take a little bit of Bam Bam and mix that with a little Cactus Jack and mix that with little Hardys and crazy things like that, and mix that with the charisma of Macho Man, and I don't know, you realize it's just happening, and once you get involved in wrestling, you start figuring out who you are. It just happens. You just take and you realize that all your inspiration and the people that have inspired you just kind of mesh together and form this weird fucking person.
Let's see. Dustin says, what's good, bro? Glad to see you're doing better. Hope all has been well. Can't wait to see you back.
Thank you, Justin. Justin's my homie, man. We used to play on the game a lot. Play like wrestling and play like Mortal Kombat and stuff. He's a good dude, man. And yeah, like it just sucks because I have problems playing video games right now. I tried to play the other day. I tried to play some wrestling and stuff. I just have a problem with moving some of the buttons and hitting certain things. I don't have strength to do it, at least for the left and the analog and the and obviously the pad and the trigger buttons. That's not happening. So
You play Fire Pro?
yeah, I have Fire Pro. Yeah,
Did you download your creative wrestler that somebody made?
I downloaded everybody that everybody made because like I realized I was like, holy shit, everybody made like they made me, and that what makes me smile about that man is that game was something that was sought after for us when we had a PlayStation 2 and they released Fire Pro Wrestling 2 and they just put it in random like Dollar Trees for like $10. My buddy found that out and we were like, holy shit, because we were playing it on emulators, we were playing it on Game Boy. I had it on Game Boy Advance. And he's like, holy shit, you know? So that was a game that I loved growing up. And if you didn't grow up with it and you try to play it, you'll think that it's like, some people probably think it's lame, but really it's because you don't know how to play it. And then once
Yeah,
you realize like how you play it, you're just like, oh shit, this is the greatest fucking thing ever. So to be on that and in any game, I don't even say that, but that game in particular, yeah, that meant a lot to me because somebody made me there and I was like, holy shit, like this is cool. And there was like multiples. There's like a couple people and then like I made a Slack and people downloaded the Slack and people were downloading him and using him and shit. So
yeah,
yeah, no, that's a great feeling, man, because that also means like how many wrestlers are there in the world, okay? How many wrestlers that probably did never get fucking made in that game, man? They never get made because nobody knows who the fuck they are or whatever they're not doing or should be doing or maybe upcoming or whatever they got to do. But the fact that somebody else in the world is making you as a character and you just happen to find them on the downloads, that's fucking amazing feeling, dude. Should be amazing feeling for you.
what's your favorite weapon besides
Uh,
the tattoo needles?
um, um, I think it's gonna be a so chairs is like and it's a lost fucking thing, man, because people think like trash cans. Dude, I love fucking trash cans. I brought it back. I was like, me and Slack, we're using a fucking trash can, and we're like, yeah, we're gonna fucking bring it back. Because people, when I took the power bomb on it with when it was upside down, like people fucking were like, ew. I'm like, yeah, it can still be disgusting. It's just a matter of what you do with it.
Right.
You know? So I love that stuff. I love the hardcore shit, you know? I feel like that's lost too.
Um, let's see. What's the best advice a wrestler has ever given you?
Best advice. It was probably way early, and that was like keep your eyes and ears open, your mouth shut, man. That was the best thing I've ever heard. Because
Okay.
then you realize like and it's so old schoolish, like it's one of those things that like it's really old schoolish and it's some people that have never heard that and it would throw me for a loop if they never heard it, but somebody I hope would retort that to them because I heard that so early, man. There was things, man. I'd been around. I just kept seeing stuff and hearing and seeing and listening and asking questions. Obviously, when it's appropriated, but as far as keeping your mouth shut, it's just taking in and absorbing what you're doing and absorbing everything that you need to start to learn and listen and then you will ultimately in the end benefit from everything you had fucking heard and seen and you'll obviously make your own decision on what you're going to obviously uh, throw into what you are or who you're going to be in wrestling or what you're going to do. But that was the best thing because I mean there was so much shit that you know you take in, man. You have to sit and listen. You have to listen to other people. You have to see what other people are doing and doing it correctly or even seeing them do it incorrectly. So so yeah, that'd be the one, man.
Okay. Okay. Chondo, he wants to know: is it true that if you stomp on the flag, you'll stomp their ass? Lead, follow, or get out the way?
Chondo, I love him. He's awesome. Uh, yeah, that's true. Really quickly, I'm gonna. All right, Marcus bought me a shirt. We stopped at a gas station, and we were laughing about like just stupid shirts with a bunch of words on them that say a bunch of shit, right? Like they say like stop a mud hole, don't touch my daughter, or I'll shoot you in the eyes. Some shit like that. And we were just laughing about it because we went into this. I think it was a Flying J. It was a Flying J, and it was before we wrestled at ARW, and he bought me. Marcus said, "Will you please wear this shirt in the match?" I wore it in my second match because it was with Corporal Robinson, and that's kind of like it's kind of his thing, It's kind of his thing. So I wore it as like a mockery, but it had all of which fucking Chando just said pretty much on the back of the shirt. And it didn't make any sense to why some creepy motherfucker with white eyes had this shit on. So I had to justify it. So I just said that I wore that shirt for Corporal, and then when the match started, Corporal kicked me right in the face as soon as it started because I was making a mockery, even though the fans popped for everything I said on the back of my shirt, which whatever. But yeah,
Let's see.
basically it was a trash fucking shirt, dumb shit on it.
James says, would you come to Canada and wrestle again? I guess.
Yeah, I would, James. I did uh, twice or three times. Um, but yeah, I would totally come back. It's just a matter of like who would have me there, and everybody was cool down there. Cool people I met there. Um, yeah, I would totally come back. I love Canada, and you guys still have fucking Toys R Us. So I go there
Oh,
and
that's true.
yeah, they got Toys R Us, and I go. I got some shit there. Last time I was there, I stopped and got some shit. It's funny when they ask me at the border all the time, like because I have like all my shit with me and stuff. I'm always like, they're like, ask me, but it's the truth. Like, it's exactly why I was there. It's pretty much to wrestle and go to Toys R Us. So I just say, dude, I want to go to Toys R Us, and I point to my back seat with my fucking Toys R Us bags, and they're like, oh shit, I forgot we still have Toys R Us here. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, you totally do.
That's a great excuse. I like that.
For sure.
So, but I want to thank you for your time and doing this for us. Is
Absolutely,
there
man.
uh, is there anything you want to leave us with?
Um, I want to say, man, it's just like I was gonna, like I said, the last thing I think I was gonna mention was just how much I support you guys supporting us, in every way that you can, and keep doing that where you can, where you feel it's fucking warranted, to whoever. I mean, a lot of these guys, I mean, are just killing themselves, for just pure entertainment. But we take full responsibility in every fucking thing that we're doing. We're we're very aware. We're very self conscious that a lot of this shit can happen. Bad shit can happen. And we don't ever expect. I don't think anybody has ever expected anything out of you guys other than to come to the shows and fucking enjoy what you're seeing. So just keep coming to the fucking shows. Keep supporting in whatever way you can. I mean, if the guys have merch, buy their merch if you like them. If you gotta wait for it and do it when it's a fucking good time and things are not tight, then whenever, man. But whenever you guys do to help support us, we appreciate. Um, and I appreciate you guys even coming on here and fucking listen to me bullshit and talk about
Oh, we appreciate you doing it.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean,
So
you gave us a platform to reach out and to say different things. Like you guys that are doing that with your podcasts or live videos or whatever you guys are doing to help support. Uh, Somebody said hashtag Toys R Us kid. Fuck yeah, I am. Definitely help. Uh, but yeah, like it's just everything that you're doing. You're creating a platform for us. You guys are helping us too to help spread our word and however we can do to help show us more to you in some way, shape, or form, and that we appreciate. So it's all a matter of giving back and fucking forth, man. Buy me a
yeah,
beer,
yeah.
I'll buy you a beer too. Shit, that's fair game.
Last question. Kevin, he wants to say, hey, has Joey Janela given you any tickets yet?
Joey, Joey, uh, Joey has not given me any tickets, but I mean, I that's not something I would expect from him. Joey's cool as shit. I'm happy as fuck for him. Uh, he knows that. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind that he doesn't know that. He's been supportive of me in ways too, and I appreciate the shit out of him. I'm sorry I didn't let you in to see Leonardo and fucking Quintino, but he was trying to make it happen, and I was like, we just maybe should just chill, and maybe not just invite a bunch of people up here. So maybe that's why I didn't get no fucking tickets, because he's probably pissed about that. But no, he thought it was cool. He understood the situation. But yeah, Joey's awesome. But no, like I'm sure it would be something I could see, him doing if he had the power. I wouldn't put it past him. But it's not anything that
Right.
he'll skin. I just like seeing him fucking be on television, man.
I know, that's awesome, right?
Right, it's fucking cool.
Johnny says we miss you, buddy.
Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate that, man.
But thank you for coming on here and taking time out to do this for us. And I hope you get better soon. We are all ready for you to get back in the ring and do your thing.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, because honestly, I can't wait. I'm missing it so bad. But mostly, like I said, I'm just hoping, that we're all. I just want everybody to be okay. I want Marcus to be okay mostly right now. Especially, he's heavy on my head right now. So I appreciate everybody else showing that he's heavy on your heads too. So that's really just it. And I just want to be fucking. I want everybody to be fucking alive and fucking doing what we can until we all die.
Awesome, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
All right, later, man.
Later. Peace, guys.